My man, if you couldn't tell, this is our life and we living it well. Late nights in the city causing hell. Burn this bitch into the ground, oh well. For all we got tonight, let's do this right. Let's do this right. Let's go to this shit be like Friday nights. This shit made me feel alive. Feel like we in paradise. Paradise. Don't know if it's a drink or
Yeah.
but I swear I've never loved you more.
Sun Up Saturday music. Feel good music. You know why? Because it does. Because it does. You are here with us at Just a Dope Ass Podcast. What gets more paradise like than this? Sitting here listening to Today I Am the Ninth Wonder, aka Lipstick on the Draws, King Carter, see himself, and my main man holding it down out there in the Southwest, the great state of Texas, Chad Awesome, aka Ball Wisdom himself. Welcome here to Just a Dope Ass Podcast on this wonderful. Well, it's sunny here. I can't talk about where you are. Hopefully, it's sunny there too. Y'all light out there? Y'all nice and bright.
Yeah, it was sunny. I mean, like it's now, I guess what's 5-ish, so it's like that afternoon look. But no, it's been sunny for the past, South be the South, so like it'll rain for like 30 minutes, real good, and be like, all right, nigga, we done.
Okay, yeah, that warm rain that come real quick, hit you in the mouth, and then be out.
Yeah, it'd be like I think
This
like
is
it did that like 3 days, like back to back. It was like I don't know, like 11:30, rain like a motherfucker, like 12:45. But like, all right, y'all, we're good. That was it. That's it for the day.
that sound about right. Little God sneeze, just a little God sneeze.
Honestly, that's a little God sneeze is the quote of the day. That's yeah.
God, sorry, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all go ahead and handle that. Well, as long as you straight up. If you are listening or watching live, if you're listening live on the Good News Radio app, let us know what the weather's looking like where you are. Let us know if it's a bright, sunny, wonderful day, and if it is paradise where you are. And if you're watching live here, streaming on YouTube or Facebook, be sure to let us know in the comments the same. I'm not going to repeat the question because you should have been pandemic. But if you were not, again, let us know what's going on with you. We love you. We appreciate you for being here in another episode. Where do we start off? Because I got a lot of stuff that like we can tap into,
I don't
and
know.
it's just like no one should note. Do I mean, well, granted, all of it's positive to me because we just having a
I mean,
conversation. So
I know that we've talked about a lot. I know there's been a lot
go
going
ahead.
on. I mean, the thing at the top of literally everybody's list. Like, obviously, I just got tired of being fucking homeless, so I want to get a haircut, and like, obviously, everybody's in there talking, barbershop talk. And right before I left, because I was watching some fucking scary film or whatever, and it was cool. Everybody was shooting shit, but right before I left, niggas was like, "Gonna cut on that Dave Chappelle." And I was like, "Motherfuckers," because this is where the conversation's been. Y'all motherfuckers are finna get to talking. Because at least good. You haven't seen it, and like two. It was two dudes plus me who was seen. Who was kind of talking about it for like the last 5 or 10 minutes, but that obviously is just like the fucking Dave is an evil motherfucker. He out here, and I've watched it twice now. Like the first time as a fan, the second time to be like, okay, man, maybe I was just laughing because I'm a Dave Chappelle fan. Maybe I missed things that are like, I'm not part of said communities, but I like to think I'm like, an ally, like, I'm not whatever. And I just was like, all right, maybe he said some wild shit. And I don't know. The second time around, I'm like, if I'm looking at it through the lens of, I don't know, man, if you had, I don't know, fucking some analyst from CNN say it, you might have had a point, but a comedian a comedian of his caliber, with what I mean by like, just the ability to weave. I want to make you think with I want to make you laugh. He's done specials where it's just like a mad think piece. I'm like, this is not, you just are choosing to miss his point. You know what I'm saying? Like we can all argue you don't like how it was presented. And if that's the case, honestly, like he said about that little joke about the woman following to his car, then don't watch his comedy. Cause like there are things that I might not like that, like when I hear like certain white comedians say shit about black people, but I was like, in the scheme of making things funny for the sake of funny and also making things funny, especially if they're doing the whole, you're really leaning into that whole comedy to make you think thing, like, oh, the whole modern day philosopher shit. I'm like, nobody's doing it like Dave. So his shit didn't seem like I'm really shitting on this group. I have an opinion. I have an opposing opinion to the general norm. And if anything, we could have a discussion about it. But it's not, I didn't take it as I'm going out of my way to belittle and berate this community, especially that last piece. The fact that people use that last like ending of the thing where he talked about his friend. In that thing, he says, y'all on the internet. He didn't say that, but it was kind of like the people who were bullying her were not us. It was the people in her community. And like, then unfortunately, she committed suicide. But it's like, that was he said. And even that little things like that, like he used the proper pronouns and he never was like he's like, that was my real fucking friend off some shit that we were just two human beings. And I'm like, y'all are, I don't know. It feels really, really like you went out of your way to miss the point. Like you found every little minor detail to argue. Like, I don't like this, but you're you're purposely going against context. So you don't even want to me, I don't even know if that's for the betterment of your people. You just want to fight things because you're not looking for, I just want to fight. So I don't like that. But what about in context, what he said? If you listen to what he said, I don't understand the missing of the context. Like that's, I don't know, man. Team Dave, man. Y'all wild.
At what point in time do people stop hearing what they want to hear for the sake of their own argument and actually hear the information that is conveyed?
I guess that depends on the person's motivations for having the conversation in the first place. If you have the conversation and it's to, I'm having it with friends, I'm having it to, to push thought, not to even sound like, some weird philosophical Jordan Peterson, but I have an opinion on this topic about, about black stuff, about relationship stuff. It's to better the scenario, not even to better me, not even to better like selfishly. If your goals are to get your shit off, and get your shit off means I'm mad, I want you motherfuckers to feel it. I want to, like, if it's a selfish desire, if you're aware enough to at least recognize the selfish desire, maybe don't have the conversation. Or if I know that I'm going to have this talk and I'm going to get triggered and not be able to listen to other perspectives, you probably shouldn't have the conversation. So to answer the question, I feel like people have to start kind of understanding that what you saying this for? What are you saying that to them for? Because it's not to defend or push a positive narrative forward or to change minds or to whatever. You want to fight, and this is your level of fighting, and that just might not be necessary.
I think it might be even more than just what are you saying this for? Because what did you hear is important as well.
Well, comprehension is at an all-time low, so
comprehension and accountability. Because like I going back to what you said about the whole Dave situation, like you gotta do some major tap dance to misconstrue what this man was saying. Like I can see if you commenting on the situation, see it, and you're just following excerpts of what you saw, which I saw a couple people post some stuff and special. It's like Dave said this, and you play literally 2 seconds of him saying that, but zero context before or after. Doing this in a certain manner for a reason. You're not talking about what he actually said. You're taking sound bites to justify you being pissed off at absolutely nothing to continue to demonize an individual because you don't want to listen. You don't have the ability to comprehend. So is it really somebody being quote unquote homophobic towards you or transphobic or whatever the case is? Or is it just you're stupid? Like, you're stupid. You're going out of your way to do something that is completely necessary. You as an individual, I won't say the entire community, because there have been people to speak out in support of Dave, and there have been people obviously to speak out to demonize Dave. So I can't speak for the entire community, especially as somebody that's not a member of the community, unless you count Polly, because technically they throw Polly in there. So hey. But other than that, like, I'm not a part of the trans community, so I can't speak up for them. But you can look at an individual basis and be like, the person that wrote this post, you're an idiot. I can see that you really didn't comprehend what was being said.
I think, one, it's definitely you're an idiot for some. Two, I think it's lazy, because even me, for people I don't like, I've said this line before, like, I don't know, I'm not a fucking who's a stupid motherfucker. I don't like Ben Shapiro. I'm not a Ben Shapiro person. But if I see a clip of his, before I fire off on some shit, and I've said a lot of wild shit about bro, actually, I think about it, I go watch, even if it's 10 minutes and I'm like, fuck, this is the dumbest shit ever. I need to at least allow this person 10 minutes to get their perspective off. I'm well within my rights to disagree and shit on it. Shout out to Diddy. Like, I was having a conversation with Diddy here about it, and it was like, nobody's arguing that you can't shit on a thing, but if you shit on a thing and don't actively listen to what's being said and flesh out those opinions, then you're kind of acting like a child. Like, you're not really paying attention, and you're not going in for, and once, making some tie into therapy, you need to address your shit, because yes, you've been traumatized, yes, you've been beat down, yes, you've been whatever, but you cannot approach every conversation from the space of everybody's fucking with me. Some people may not understand, or somebody might have a really good thing, but your entire fuel is, I will fuck with anybody opposite me. And that is literally, like, I don't know if there's any other way to, like, stunt growth or regress it, then it's that. Because the whole way you get better is like, oh, I never thought about it that way. Okay, cool. And learn discernment. It's a stark difference between, oh, they're saying something I don't like, but it makes sense and it's gonna make me get better, and this motherfucker trying me. Because I'm all for stomping the motherfucker ears together that's trying you, but know the difference. And we motherfuckers don't really know the difference
At all. I want to ask this, or even just ask opinion of it. How much of a hindrance do you think the victim mentality that we have floating over our society today plays in comprehension communication?
Huge. and I'm not pointing this at any fucking particular group. As I've said, just dancing around in that fucking clubhouse shit. I haven't done it in I took like a couple days not fucking with it, and I was listening yesterday even. And it was one of these groups, and it was just like the group off top was like something clickbaitish, like black women aren't dateable, they just fuckable or some shit like that. And in the group, it's a flurry of men who are just like, these bitches hurt me and did me dirt, nasty, dirty fuck ass bitch, fuck ass, dirt ass, raggedy asshole. And it's all right, we get it. Women suck or whatever. But then they start to honestly finally tell us, it's the only silver lining I'm giving them. I'm giving them a little bit. Couldn't stay long, they got on my nerves. But as they started talking a little more, it starts to flesh out. I'm hurt. And I'm like, oh, okay. See, I'm hurt is a way better stance than these dirty ass bitches is whatever. Because now it's like, okay, you're hurt because she fucking did you wrong. And then it started to have, even though it was a little whatever, like, I should have never been fucking with that. All right, cool. Now we can work, and I shouldn't have been fucking with that, because she might not have been a trash person. She could have been every bit of an airhead that you thought, but you said booty ass. And she said she wants to submit. And then you got this whole submission thing, and y'all got married for 2 or 3 years, and you realize, well, damn, nigga, like, all she really know how to do, fuck, and like talk at me. Like, she doesn't listen. She doesn't know how to go get, like, she has no real qualities of partner. So that's your fault. But all of our communities are like coming from a space of, this thing fucked me up. I had no part in the fuck up, in the bullshit, and everybody come unto me. And it's like, at least at some point, take accountability for your part in your own bullshit. Then take accountability on part of like your perspective. I can't even call it right or wrong. It is limited to your experiences. That's how I did it Who gives a shit? You are from what the fuck, Arkansas? You're a 7th generation. You niggas have never left past, you know, 100-mile radius. Great. You are from LA. That's great. Just because you're from LA, you might have left your 6-block ratio. Like, you've never really left outside of your city. You ain't never left outside wise. You took a couple trips to Mexico. You went to the resort in fucking Jamaica. You're not cultured, dickhead. You ride jet skis. That's all the fuck you've done. You know nothing, and you've never tried to push past that. Like, what are you talking about, my nigga? Like, shut up. So I think that's a big fucking issue, I say. I think there's some, I don't know if it's my connection, but somebody's slow. It might be me that's slow. D, are we slow? Am I slow? I feel like something's chopping up because I don't hear nothing, I don't see nothing. But that might be on my end. I don't know what's going on. Are we in the Matrix? I don't know what's going on. I'm talking to D because I can't. Oh, it's the pod thing? Okay, well, that sucks too. Well, it's just me now, guys. All right, D, it's you and me. We're on fucking just the dope ass couch, and we're here live talking about couch stuff. I wonder if they can hear me like through the thingy too, because well, fuck it, I don't know. YouTube might get it. I don't know if this part of the audio will come over, but anyways, that's all coming to generalizing one's own personal experiences. Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I mean, our personal experiences is where we like, our personal experiences is where we like build our whole fucking shit off of. So like, I get it, but I guess like, I don't even know how to really fix that, or I'm lying. I have an idea on how to fix that, but I don't know how to necessarily, I don't know if I'm gonna verbalize it properly. Is like, ooh, like that, like fucking like Inception, like the idea shouldn't be that this is my start out values and beliefs. That is shit that starts you off. But you're well within your right to throw that shit the fuck away. Like, that don't even make sense. Like, there's just so many examples where that didn't make sense. So if you just apply that principle to yourself, like, I like this because I know it, great. But that could be very limiting. Because like, this motherfuckers who started out as like, I don't know, as much as people talk about the Bible Belt South, or you're from whatever the fuck country, those values don't really need to apply here. Like, they can start you off. You can have that can give you a decent enough framework or whatever, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's like the best way to go. This is what I've known. This is what I've done. And you could have had, even that fucking shit I just said about traveling or whatever. You could take a trip to fucking Japan, but if your perspective is still like to not, I guess, embrace that area, or embrace their culture, or think that I might go to not even Shinto temple or fucking whatever the fuck they doing over there, and like embrace it from their perspective, your shit's not gonna shift. You go over there. That's how you niggas really be out here acting like colonizers in their brain though. Like, I'm gonna take my shit to somebody else's shit and then be like, yeah, this is the way. Because I don't know, like this shit's weird. Like, this whole Dave Chappelle shit is weird. It's weird seeing motherfuckers like a motherfucker on stage told you 100% they're gonna take this shit and like burn it down solely because they're not listening. Like, the whole uproar with this shit doesn't even make no fucking sense to me. Right, 100%. You have to challenge your own views on things as much as you challenge others because it's bigger than just you. It fucking is bigger than just you. Like, you should go into things thinking, I could 100% be wrong. And then, like, prove yourself not wrong, I guess, maybe. But flat out, more than anything, just be okay with being fucking wrong. Like, oh, my bad, I was wrong. Like, don't berate people, don't shit on people for being wrong. Like, you was wrong. All right, kids, y'all should all play sports. Like, you fucked up, then you go try again. You niggas be like, I can't be wrong. I'm gonna fucking quit. You all this pussy. Like, that's not actually, yeah. Like, sorry, pussy is like a really like derived, but you sound stupid. That's dumb. But like, yeah, with that fucking Dave shit, like come on, nigga. Like, a nigga flat out said, like, y'all are gonna they're gonna fucking, I don't know, cancel me now for what? Like, you heard him at the end say they're not listening to us. I have no qualms with this community. You can do whatever you want. I have an opinion one way or another. I don't understand, like, how do I say this? How do I tie this? Because I don't know what it's like to be in that community. I do know what it's like to be Black. So just marginalized community shit. Like, I don't care so much anymore if, like, a white, they don't see our humanity. For a long time, nigga, right about now, I've been like, look, you gonna respect it and get the fuck out my way, but you're not required to be like, oh my God, you're an amazing, lovely Black man. Bitch, just stay on your side of the road. Like, if you are gay or trans or whatever for you, not for me. Oh, Black man.
Yeah, I appreciate you for continuing on the conversation. Probably
I'm
you.
gonna run my mouth.
No, go ahead and run it because I think it's something going on with the Wi-Fi over here. So
It might be though.
no, it said it like, oh, no internet, cut off, shut down, and then I gotta leave and come back. I don't know what it is, but either way,
yo, it's the feds. Yo, we said we like Dave, and them niggas in the fucking that's powerful. But no, I was actually saying, like, as somebody, like, this is good, like, I'm in that community, right? We talk a lot, like, personally and on air about, I don't necessarily give a shit, like, you don't want to get shot in the street, they have power structures and all that, but just as, like, a ideal, I don't really give a shit if insert racist white comic or whatever gets on stage and, like, niggers are dumb or whatever. Like, you just gonna, like, respect me in my presence, like, or I'll beat you the fuck up. But, like, if they were on stage, I wouldn't let that, like, just throw away their fucking special. I don't know, man. I just won't watch it. Like, I guess that's also weird to me too, that, like, the entire deplatform this man, it's like, it was a lot of effort. Like, it's not tons, but, like, I'll be on Netflix. I click through a lot of shit. To actively click on, John O. Swanson's comedy special, niggers be nigging the nigger up. Like, I asked for that. Like, if I go to insert and I said, it was like, the niggers be nigging on the nig knobs. Watch my special. And then I watched it and I was like, he was racist. Well, then fuck. Even if he was like, even though, like, he said, I don't know, it's hard to even make that parallel for the Dave shit, because it's like, he said roughly offensive things that the comic said, but he said mad just dialogue that wasn't funny. It's like, listen to us. I have no issue with it. Like, I'm like, what's wrong with y'all?
That would be my beef or my different take on it. Because in your example, like, you're literally going to give your attention to somebody that is speaking hate speech. Like, there is no blurring the line. Niggas is this, niggas is that. Like, yeah. Fuck you niggers the whole 9 yards. Like, clan talk. I know that's what I'm clicking on. This man, and you're like, for 4 straight specials, he's been bashing trans people. No, he hasn't. For 4 straight specials, he has referenced the community to tell them stop misinterpreting what he's saying. And you're doing the exact thing that he's been talking about for 4 specials, and you still do not get it. Just like I said, I watched it, and, like, I don't know if you caught it, but, like, the 2 white ladies that were, like, in the 3rd row or some shit in front, like, just sitting.
When I watched it again, I looked at them, like, and there were times that they even laughed, but they, like, picked and chose. That's not funny.
No. It's okay to laugh, but, like, they sat there scowling. So you paid money for a ticket to come sit in this man's face and scowl. Did you even listen to what he was saying? Like, you had a bias. I'm going to buy a ticket. I'm going to go there and I'm just going to show him that. What makes you think that out of all the people in the room, he's going to give a fuck about you not laughing? Of all people, the arrogance of it. But when I mentioned, like, clan talk, that kind of reminds me, like, this is a stereotypical narrative that white people have used when it comes to hate speech, right? We say something. We say all the things that we feel like we want to say and we want to be heard. But Lord forbid you say something in opposition to that. That's not even hateful. You're just saying, what is the point of what you're saying? What you're saying isn't healthy. It's not inclusive. It's not balanced. It's not structured in a way that's going to create productivity or growth. You're just saying things that are not beneficial to everybody, and it's barely beneficial to you. And you say, how dare you speak such terrible rhetoric? It kind of reminds me of like when Farrakhan went on what was it, the Raljo show back in the day? Man said absolutely nothing about hating white people at all. But even the white people in the audience is like, you're sitting here saying how like white people are terrible people. I never said that. I said, if you pay attention throughout history, you've done this. We're saying we're all racist. I'm not saying all of you are racist. I'm saying that a lot of things in this country are built on racism. I'm saying this, I'm saying this, I'm saying this. These are the things that I'm saying, and let me explain them in detail. Well, it sounds like you're no, but listen to what I'm saying. Throughout history, when it comes to certain communities that have been spearheaded by the non-melanated folk, I don't care what type of identity they latch onto, there's a lot of, as I said earlier, victim mentality. I'm so eager to be the victim that I don't realize when I'm the bully. Sometimes you're the bully. Sometimes you got he keeps punching me. Yeah, because you push that nigga into a locker every time you see him and he don't say nothing to you. Kind of like with the young man that happened in, I want to say, was it Georgia or Texas? I think it's Georgia. But the young man that was getting bullied came back to school, shot the person that was bullying him, and they're like, "Oh, he's a school shooter because he's a black." They're like, "No, he's not a school shooter. I got bullied by these dudes on multiple occasions, and I shot at them and them alone. I ain't care about nobody else. I'm defending myself because I done got beat up on one occasion, I done got jumped on one occasion, I done got bullied on other occasions, and I'm tired of them. So I came here willing to do something, and you're demonizing me to make me look like an issue." But flip side, when it's somebody from your community that you identify with, you find every type of way to say, no, he's so many troubles and it's just not fair how they're depicting him and he went through this and he went through that. It's kind of the same concept when it comes to the LGBTQ community and Dave. You keep pushing this man into the locker and he keeps saying, that's not cool. Stop doing that. Stop doing it. I am an artist. I'm a storyteller. When I get on stage, I'm going to tell stories. It just so happens that they happen to be truthful and I make them funny to help get the point across. But I haven't said anything to demonize you, but you keep pushing me. And then when you feel like you got hit in the mouth and all I did was tap your mouth as I fell backwards. Oh, assault.
Yeah, I think, and I don't think anybody, likes their truth being put up there, but he just spoke to me on, even when he said like things that like he just said like think and listen, it's like it's not even this specific thing. It's the idea or the broad stroke that this incident can imply, that this could, create. Like even when he was talking about like fleshing out the idea of like the bathroom thing, it was like that doesn't protect my family. Like who gives a shit if you're a human being, you need to eat food, basically. Like you walking around Walmart, I don't give a fuck with you, or buy your food or whatever. Like you coming in the bathroom with me and hiking your skirt up, like that does nothing for me. Don't lie and make this law for me. Like there are all these thinkable points. And it was just like, why are y'all so, what? It just, I don't know, like purposely missing the point I find to be an issue. Like I'm not even saying motherfuckers gotta agree, but the weirdness of like an unspeakable thing, because it's like you can do wrong. You can do a wrong thing. Nobody is above reproach or just conversation. Like, hey, what about this? All right, cool. Like let's have, because like even the fact that she passed is really unfortunate, because to me that was like amending. It's not even like, and they said some terrible shit like he talked about berating and bullying her. No, he respected her as a comedian and said she, like every comedian talks about, you got out there and you was ass. He did not ever berate her. And I don't like how like it was just disregarded that if we're talking about somebody who, belittles and shits on a community, he respected her identity from jump. He said, he shitted on her being a comedian, which I guess in a comedian's perspective, I respected you from jump because I'm not going to give you no pass. Like I didn't give Kevin Hart or somebody a pass. Then I'm going to help you work on your comedy. Then you come and open up for me. Like this whole shit was fucking wild to me.
That's the part that boggles my mind. You saying that he bullied and punched down on this community and this individual and berated her. It's like, but you missed the part where he said, I helped this individual. I expressed multiple times willingness to continue helping this individual. This individual had no prior experience on the level that I am, and I still gave them a platform and an opportunity. And still, even after they bombed, I may have talked some shit, but we all talk shit about each other. Hell, we talk shit about ourselves when we bomb. I know Dave has talked about going on stage and bombing, even as established Dave Chappelle. He's gone and bombed and he's talked about it. But you bombed, and I still invited you backstage to talk to all these seasoned comedians in the game to help you understand your crowd. Not only are you glossing over that, but you're also glossing over the fact that he gave her the opportunity to steal the show. This is my show. I'm still talking to this individual in the crowd and giving them their moment. You bombed earlier when it was just yours. This is my moment, and I'm sharing it with you by way of using you for my comedy speech. But also, when you say something funny, I'll let you get your flowers from the crowd. I'll let you speak. I'm making this an equal opportunity space, but you guys are glossing over that, saying that he demonizes individuals. Like, no, I held this person up higher than where they were. Actually, I brought them up to my level and gave them an opportunity to see what this feels like.
That's even like spoken about when the woman said in the tweet, he doesn't punch down like everybody else kept saying. He punches, whatever, like across. Yeah. I punch my equal across. I hold, and if we're talking, from a fight perspective or whatever, my rival, my equal, somebody of equal stature, like I'm punching across at you. I'm not bullying nobody below me.
Right.
And I don't know. I think like even outside of the Dave thing, I think across the board, that shit's a fucking issue a bit. Because like, even the post we posted a couple days ago got a lot of likes with like the woman making more money stuff. Even this shit I saw today about it was the one you sent me where it was like women aren't safe spaces, and like
asking men to share why they don't open up to their women, basically.
Yeah, and all these conversations are like, there has to be some level of discernment. Like, one, check yourself. Like, am I coming into this angry? Because I do that. Like, am I coming into this angry and hot? Like, these motherfuckers at it again. These niggas talking about women, not on my watch.
Right.
Like, all right, once you realize you're coming in hot, like, leave that shit at the door. And then it's not everybody bullying or shitting on y'all. It is motherfuckers, to use the analogy, just punching across at their equal, saying, this is what you do. Boom, bring it to the table. Now, nigga, take the punch. A lot of times you just should eat those, learn how to whatever, and then you learn how to slip. But we're having now the real conversation and discourse. Now it's a sweet science. We're really dancing in these conversations to become, now we're sparring, to become better fighters. I'm not punching down on you. You're not swinging up to try to make a point. Nah, we're equals in this. Now, if you want to pretend you got beat up, then that's on you. Because a lot of these conversations we're having, everybody keeps acting like somebody. There's a difference between somebody shitting on you and somebody holding you accountable. Nigga, you're our fuck nigga. Like, you're not an indefinite fuck nigga. Like, but at this current juncture, what she said, fuck nigga isms.
Right.
Great. Now the issue is now you can become a fuck, you can unfuck yourself. And ma'am, I mean, depending on said, issue just in this scenario, you can choose to leave said nigga alone. Or if you're making this statement, make it from a space of allowing the person to do better. If you're going to hold it, if you're going to be a grudge person, if you're going to whatever, then I don't know, man, leave the motherfucker alone or go to war. Or at least just say, I'm here to go to war. Like, if a nigga gonna say these funky ass bitches, then at least my nigga just stand in your truth of, I just want war right now. I'm not looking for health and fixing it and betterment and none of that shit. Because now you out here kind of abusing people. That bitch has been a fucking dirty ass bitch. And you should have left if you couldn't handle it. Now, if you're going to let her forgive herself, then you forgive and you move forward. Otherwise, you're an abusive piece of shit.
Right. Different perspective. They can say Dave is punching down. That means you have to punch up, right? So if punching eye level, that's me and my equal, supposedly. Because you reference sparring. If I'm sparring with somebody that I clearly know is not 100% my equal. You have extra protected gear on. One, because we're not really here to hurt each other. We're here to make each other better. but I know that I'm a couple notches better than you, but you can challenge me a little bit. So to a degree, you are punching up, but that punching up is an adversity and opportunity for you to establish yourself. So it may seem like, oh, you're punching down on me. So why do you view that as you getting pummeled as opposed to an opportunity for you to become better or for you to gain a better platform? Why are you automatically accepting that this person is in the corner punching down on you as opposed to, I'm just 2 inches taller than you?
I guess I'm not gonna call it arrogance, but that I guess once again is an issue with discernment, understanding when you are getting like bullied and when somebody is, hey, I get it, you don't like it, but let's flirt with like the challenge of this belief and ideal, because you might be wrong. You have viewed yourself and this, that, and the third as this, and now somebody's fucking with that, and you mad, and this is not even remotely a trans-Pacific thing, because I've said, I've been watching these niggas, and it's like, as a motherfucking man, we supposed to, and you go, you say, I think I've said like one thing, and it's like, well, what makes you that? What the fuck you mean? All right, nigga, like y'all can have it, because I didn't mean to like stab your fucking belief, but just poke it. Like you're not even a bad nigga. You just have because you sound like your granddaddy. You've never flirted with the idea that how you view kingship or whatever, this ain't it. Like, even back to the post or whatever about like women making more money or whatever, niggas would fight up and down about that. And it's like, well, why, my nigga? Like, why are you just complained and you were up in arms and like beside yourself, not understanding your emotions in this relationship shit and not paying attention to that correlates to the way that you feel. Yeah. Or you want to feel.
Get me out of this country ass town with these bugs.
The way you want to be loved and appreciated, you can't access that if you run the relationship this way, because that doesn't leave any room for that. You are 14-hour shift ass, working ass, big piece of chicken ass nigga, where if you crack this motherfucker open, that lessens your need to be Captain King provider. But it also opens up the challenge that, yeah, nigga, you got to talk now. You got to say that hurt my feelings now. You have to, I'm a provider. And it's like, well, nigga, the money's good. So what you provide? And it's like, well, hey, by the way, bitch, I provide understanding. I provide a great, you can now get into, I'm a real nigga because, and all them shit you listening in, loyalty and motherfucking that you be listening to them goddamn, whoever the fuck is popping now songs or niggas be saying that shit, put that in a relationship though. Like, I'm loyal to all the shit you are to the streets, be to your household. Perfect. You're welcome. I fix relationships, niggas.
Not even that of putting it in a relationship, but you get to sit back and discuss and define what that looks like as an individual and then what it looks like as a unit. The benefit is like, say, the conversation, the post you put up as far as women making more than men within the situation. I like Chico Bean's kind of perspective on it. It's like, yeah, it removes the barriers of the bullshit that we bring into relationships. Now we are on equal footing. So when you talk about a situation like Dave, when you remove your ego, when you remove your emotions and you see that he's approaching you as an equal, I'm talking to you like a normal human being. I am a comedian. Everybody gets these jokes, including you, including myself, because anybody that's watched his specials will see that he's joked on himself in his early career, and now he's a little bit more of a philosophical approach, political approach. But everybody gets the jokes, myself included, which means you are equal to me. If you remove your emotions, you're equal to me. So since you are equal to me, now what? Now what are we discussing? What needs to be changed? What needs to be done? We removed all of the bullshit. Now we don't have that anymore. Now what? What's the point that you have? And shout out to Demetrius Thomas for being extremely active in the chat. We appreciate it.
We have to be able to defend our views without being upset about it. Some people simply want to understand that everything is an attack. Yeah, I think, but I feel like that just has and flexibility in your views doesn't mean that you wishy-washy as fuck. It's like flexibility is I leave room that, God damn it, if the motherfucker made a point, the motherfucker made a point. Now, right. The motherfucker point might not have to be, all inclusive, but that motherfucker made a point for the topic we're talking about right now. That shit matters. And if we're all these big multifaceted beings, then motherfucker, you can be what's some shit everybody attracts to? So you can be a goddamn Muslim 87% of your time. Now, if the motherfucking Buddhist principle hits right here, nigga, then goddamn it, we a Buddhist for this point. Fuck
Right.
off. It makes fucking sense. Don't be, that's just not how we get down. Now you are anchoring yourself to bullshit. You are incapable of growth. And you showing a motherfucker that to be with you, I will have to stop here. There's nothing that will, because there's a difference between obviously like a challenge and a bird, and now you are anchoring a motherfucker down because you refuse to just, we done always done it this way.
I'll add to that. I'll say not only that, but you're looking for a way to separate yourself. So you're not really looking for inclusion, because instead of you saying, yeah, I have my stance or I have my chosen identity, but what you're saying makes some sense too. And I can embrace that. And I can actually see how they correlate and how they may come from the same principles, how they may come even from the same place. They're just translated differently. I can see the connectivity and inclusion because I'm looking for inclusion. When I'm not looking for inclusion and connectivity, I'm looking for ways to separate. More times than not, when I'm arguing my point from a place of looking for separation, I'm looking to overstand you in this conversation. I'm trying to be superior to you. So part of that is when I'm not embracing your standpoint, my ego is telling me that I'm better than you and I shouldn't be accepting your point. So who's really the asshole in this conversation?
Obviously that person, but I think I don't know if I made that reference earlier when it was like signed off, but I feel like it's like, because I be struggling with, because in my brain it makes sense, but verbalizing it might not always come out on top. Like it's Inception-y. I don't know who hasn't watched Inception. Go to hell. But like, you know, all the complex shit that comes with the dreamscape and the blah, blah, blah. The point of Inception is this small, simple idea is the basis of all these complexities that come into you as a person and blah, blah, blah. So if at your core, if right what you're talking about, overstanding or whatever and misunderstanding, and if are you trying to connect with people or are you trying to dominate them? Because if your core is connection and love and embracing and all this unity from a relationship standpoint, whatever the relationship may be, then you're going into these conversations as, okay, I can take that piece. I'm going to set that piece. I can take that. If your core little spinny top is, they trying to fuck with me. I don't give a fuck how many smiles you put on it. I don't give a fuck how many big words you put on it. I don't give a shit how much stuff you've read, because you've read it. You had to have read it from confirmation bias. You did not read that information for genuine understanding. You read it to, that makes sense for what I want to get off. I'm going to go bust these motherfuckers in the ass. And it's like, it's crazy because you really left half the library on the floor that would have shone light on a whole bunch of other shit. But your lens is still this. I don't give a fuck how you can pack this lens any which kind of way. You can put all the attachments on it. It's still the same fucking weapon.
If you're trying to use a weapon, which if you're trying to seek some sort of connectedness, there shouldn't be any weapons present to begin with.
Ooh, D said being malleable. That's like my favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I was going to go ahead and read it for the people.
Oh, what you guys described is open-mindedness. That's seriously lacking in this day and age. People really believe that being malleable in certain aspects equates to being weak and easily manipulated, which is crazy because the literal, if you name 5 baddest motherfuckers out, period, one of those 5 baddest motherfuckers is Bruce Lee. Bruce's main bar was be like fucking water. And I don't know a more malleable substance on this motherfucker. Actually, in the literal speech, he was talking about that's literally water's strongest trait is I could be a bottle, I could be a cup, I could be a lake, I could be a fucking ocean if I wanted to, or I could be a goddamn shot glass. I'm moving, bitch.
I can be anything. I can adapt to anything. I can be a part of anything because I am included in everything. Seeking inclusion.
Water tribe out, ho. Like,
right. Seeking separation is part of the issue of this lack of malleability. People being rigid as fuck. Like y'all about as flexible as somebody on my 600-pound life. Like that's how flexible y'all are emotionally, and that's part of the problem.
Emotionally, psychologically, while we're getting into the whole like biophysiosocial fucking factors.
Jump in there.
I was reading that shit earlier, but like, yeah, all that shit matters, nigga. Like, motherfuckers really be like, even fucking word to Robin, like she sent me some shit, or sent the page some shit about it was Angela Rye on this speech about. I feel like everybody listens to this show and just never calls us. She was talking about like, you know, she was having a whole thing about people like always dancing in black and white. One black and white. And she's like, we're literally all maneuvering in shades of gray. And I almost threw my fucking phone all the way to Galveston because I was just like, fucking quote me, motherfucker. Like, damn. Like,
do the flowers. We say it every week.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. This shit's just fucking. It's weird. Like I even reading today, I'm like, I always take back that like on a personal level and definitely like in this particular field, you're like biased for these thoughts, for this thought process. And I understand that like our community is not the biggest on that. But when you hear like even in the barbershop, like I hear people like, y'all are touching on this and don't know what you're touching on. Then like it just pumps brakes when, I don't know, Jesus walk in the room or the old fucking you know, Meemaw, whatever the fuck she said, just sneaks up, and I'm like, y'all are all, everybody's literally dancing around the fucking pool. Just jump in. Like, if you just would move this, it's something. It's not even a door. It's a light curtain. If you just went this way, you'd be like, damn, there's a whole lot of motherfuckers in this room. Like, yeah, just go that way.
But if I do that, then I have to adjust. If I do something that exposes me to something completely different. Say if I jump in, if I just completely immerse myself in this pool, I jump in the water, I have to be accountable to keep myself afloat. And I don't want to do that.
That's crazy. Because once again, I feel like that's teaching because you could be scared of being afloat, but you have to be taught that nigga, learning to swim and swimming is super fucking fun. Fuck floating. Like let's learn. I'm gonna teach you how to surf in the context of like how you think. Like I think that's vastly more important. Like that shit we was looking at earlier today. Like not to say I don't want a motherfucker to play football, play or whatever, but it's a 5-year-old white kid who's like Timberland, and like motherfuckers be like, oh, they need to. You don't know what the fuck they need to do, but I don't know if I could. I think that if anything, like I might not ever like be so caught up in teaching. Obviously, you want to teach your kids a specific skill, but teaching them how to think effectively is way. And I think that's the thing that we have like fallen on as like a community. And I definitely think like that's why motherfuckers like Dave is important. Even if you don't give a shit about what he said is like, oh shit, somebody is thinking about any fucking thing like intently. Like it's hard to be funny and it's hard to be funny and poignant. And you have Dave Chappelle's and he's like in a lane all his own. Like, you know, people make, you know, shots at Kevin, but I'm not here to shit on that nigga. But at a certain point, you start going, oh, this motherfucker lives are adjusting because there's a difference between I'll take the, like he even talked about, I'll take the hit, the $50 million hit up front to be the 60 million and fucking a bajillion whatever later to be completely authentic and free to, and I'm sensitive to that shit as fuck because of this here. Because I'm just not. I'm not gonna sit up all day and come to a place to be like, well, you never know. Yeah, I know. I goddamn know. This shit is dumb. This is bullshit. I know that shit. Well, fire this dick. That's what. I'm not going nowhere. Like, well, you can disagree with me. We can come talk about it. But ain't no way. It's like, ain't no way, boy. Like, do, say, or do. Fuck off.
Since we are approaching this discourse that we are discussing, what would you say, or I would say, how would you reconstrue Dave's points to communicate it differently to the LGBTQ community?
I don't know that I would. Because that's part of the issue to me is like, at some point you're catering to people who don't want to listen. And that is something that I know I think I'm partial to in general as a person, because I'm like, okay, man, there's a tweet from Carlos Miller. It's like, I don't feel bad for going off on you. I gave you 500 chances prior to before I nutted up. And it's like, I'm big on, okay, maybe I should say it this way, maybe I whatever. So after like I'm watching him, I was like, okay, we got heartfelt, we got stories, we got shit where it was like he had mad time to go punchline, knock him out the park. But it was like, let me set up the story and let me set up this whatever. And I'm like, okay, fuck it. Nobody should have to explain that more than that. Like,
Right.
because the way he explained it, I feel like the jokes actually might have got in the way of what if he was just talking to you on the street, it would have been a long, unfunny, not super conversation. I feel like he's like, I'm gonna just throw funny in here because I'm a comedian and I do that. But it's like the conversation in and of itself was a conversation that was poignant. It had a point. It was supposed to go. It's no, like there's nothing else to y'all can get mad. You're getting mad at the jokes and missing the part where it's like, I see you, motherfucker. I am an oppressed person. I see your struggle. I identify with it and I support it. What I don't support is this bullshit. You like
Right.
you silencing this. You are like you're doing the same thing. Even in that point about Clifford, it's like, nigga, y'all are trying to trap me to have some issue, and it's y'all not even looking at the fact that you and me got the same struggle, bro. I don't give a fuck whose dick you suck. We're black out here. Like as big of an issue as that is, and has been discussed for all Black Lives Matter. Dave just said that shit. Like he spent a whole bit to go, we're the same, motherfucker. Like same motherfucker out here.
Shout out to D. True. They don't want to listen. If someone wants to be offended, they obviously will be, no matter what is said. That's when we get into tone policing.
That's when we flip the table over, because as I'm just like, and I'm not looking for like conflict, but it starts to flirt with enabling this type of behavior. And it's like, I don't know, I wouldn't tell anybody to throw their livelihood away, and I'm not telling anybody to walk head first into any type of ridicule, but it's just like, I'm a Dave, whatever version of it, David the fuck up. Dave is like, I'm rich as fuck. I don't have to be on Twitter. The internet doesn't exist. Okay, cool.
Right.
Oh, man, if you work at a Wendy's, you might not be able to do that, but you're able to. It's a twofer. It's like, one, don't punk out on other views, and two, that's time for you to evaluate your shit. Is this coming from, I'm gonna stand for what I believe in? Is it a biggity belief? Because you got to be able to go out here and stand tough in the streets over it. So self-evaluate, discern.
We would have to do that all across the board, because one thing that sparks in my mind reading Demetrius Thomas's comment, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, which I'm sure every man has heard at some point in time in some sort of discourse with a lady folk. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. The tone policing. You're not listening to the context. You're not listening to the content. You're emotionally reacting to how you think it sounds to you. You're completely disregarding what we're having this conversation for. So it's not just in conversations with, say, the LGBTQ community and enabling them and pandering to them and all these other things. It's like in general, as a society, we have an issue with avoiding context. We miss opportunities when Dave or anybody else does something similar to what I talked to a client about in session this week. Empathetic accountability. We have to understand how to express some empathetic accountability. I can hold you accountable while also holding space for you. I can be able to be supportive of you, understanding of you, being able to nurture you, but also be able to be like, hey,
now look here.
You're still full of shit.
Now look here. Motherfuckers can barely do one or the other. You want to put them together. What the fuck?
High expectations of these niggas, don't you? Yes, I do, because you are more than capable.
Through empathy or accountability. You said put them together. Shit.
Put them together. Put them, because that's the only way that people learn. For us as individuals that have the ability to, there's no excuse for us not doing it. For those that are trying to gain the ability to do it, how do you get better at something? Practice, which means you still have to do it. So everybody should be doing it, whether you have the capability to or not. You have to flex those muscles.
You know what's a good way to flex those muscles, folks? I'm not even saying go listen to somebody 100% against you, but listen to people smarter than you, and definitely people who say, like, if somebody definitely fucking fuck with that, listen to that. Go find the fucking YouTube page where you heard them say that shit. You looked on Instagram and they said it for 30 seconds. Go watch the whole clip where they said it for 30 minutes. And then, I don't know, man. I don't know any other way except to go in. I'm not even saying going in wrong. Just go into some of these conversations or thoughts like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't give a shit if you've been studying it for 40 years. Go watch this motherfucker and treat it like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about and let them teach you something.
I won't even say 100% you have to pay attention to somebody that's smarter than you, because intellect is going to be subjective regardless. But I will say, kind of like with the debate, if anybody that's took a speech class or a debate class or anything of that nature, you take a topic and based on the topic, you're given a side and you're given a side. You're either pro or you're for. It doesn't matter what you actually believe in your heart. The assignment is you have to find a way to argue this point that I'm giving to you, which means you have to understand both. So it doesn't matter if someone's smarter than you or not. I remember having this conversation back when before Trump won the election. You know, I'm approaching what Trump is saying, although I think he's a shithead, although I don't agree with him, I still want to understand. I'm like, oh, I can understand the premise of what he's trying to say. And he's not completely off about it. He's just delivering it in a very shit way because he's raised in bigotry. You know, he's surrounded by douchebag upper echelon type shit for white folks. He's in that high society, even though he's not really part of that, but whatever. But at the time, like, I'm not going to completely dismiss him because of the messenger, because none of the messengers have ever been good. The only good one we had for us was Obama. And even he would say some shit. It's like,
if you do your research, no diss, you weigh by comparison, obviously great. But, you just got to think, if I'm comparing, stepping in a pool of piss by comparison to stepping in a bowl of shit, that's a lot better. But I'm still stepping in a pool of piss. Just saying, we're to all my poli-sci people out there. Well, poly people too. Polynesians and polyamorous. Just poly love.
Poly of all facets on the entire spectrum of poly from one extreme to the next. Shout out to them all. But yes, it doesn't matter whose piss you're standing in. It's still piss at the end of the day. So why not sit back and analyze, well, how did this shit get here and why is my foot in it? And what do I need to do to get my shoes clean or my feet clean if I was barefoot? Like, you still have to sit back and pay attention to what's going on around you. Remove your bias and pay attention to the information that's being provided to you. That's the important thing. I don't care if somebody is completely disagreeing with you. That's where the empathetic accountability comes into play. How can I also understand your point, but also hold you accountable for the bullshit aspects of it, and vice versa? How can I seek empathy, but also allow myself to be held accountable? We all have to be able to do it. Now, Demetrius Thomas says, yep, I love debate class for that reason. It taught me to be analytical. I need to understand both sides before forming an opinion now. It helps a lot. And I don't think we come on here and say anything that is completely out of the ordinary, at least not in my opinion. It's just be balanced. But if we scream, and every community in this country is screaming equality. Asian community screaming equality. LGBTQ screaming equality. Black people screaming equality. White folks screaming equality. Privileged folks screaming equality. Everybody's screaming the same thing, but nobody's sitting back to look and say, well, what does equality look like for you? And then what does equality look like for someone who is not in your position?
Give me stuff. Make me feel good.
Peace to my ego. Everybody out here.
Like at the start. Oh shit, Lotus, I can hear you. What's up, Lotus? At least, I don't know, man, understanding, well, being honest with yourself to understand what is your motivation. I'm looking for, stop fluffing it. Stop putting all this stems from anger, this stems from ego, this stems from pride, this stems from, like, you're not being just in why you're doing this. It's not from I don't give a fuck how you set it up, how you make it sound. This is from bullshit. And just acknowledge that it's from bullshit, and then you can work on undoing it. You can literally, it costs you $0.99 to shut the fuck up. I can't stand Why can't you stand when niggas say whatever? Because niggas just be, what's his name? Darrell. All right, cool, man. Take that up with Darrell. Like, don't get mad. Man, bitches always stop. What are bitches really doing? Because what did she really say that was bad? She said, I want to be, loved. And she had a great understanding of what love looked like. Now, Misha was a goofy, funky dog-head bitch. Take that up with her. This woman is not that. Understand where your opinion's coming from. That shit is not honest. It's not real because you just like, I'm a real about mine. No, you were a child. You were just dancing in fucking trauma. Fuck off into a mental health facility where a licensed therapist can help you with your stuff.
On that note, you guys take those gems, put them in your rings, take that out into the world, and snap your fingers and get rid of half of the bullshit that you keep bringing into your own life.
Or if you're Lotus, put them in like a fucking rose quartz dildo and like sit on it.
Spin on that thing.
Yep.
Spin around on it. Get that pH balance together because...
Enlighten it through your orifices.
All of them. Plug all the holes. Everyone. Two in the pink, one in the stink, in your mouth, in your ears, in your nose, in your nostrils, nigga. Like all of that. Like put them in everything. Thank you to D. We appreciate you. Thank you to Lotus. We appreciate you. Can you see the comments that pop up?
Oh yeah. What's his name? Y'all are preaching that. Well, look, man, everybody be saying we be up here with dick jokes and shit. So like, hey, y'all can get these gems and then also the dick jokes too.
I mean, the dick jokes are a part of the gym. Like you said, that's the diamond encrusted infinity dildo. Like, hey.
Like Steven Universe. But
absolutely.
Like dicks. Damn, somebody when y'all see this, somebody's gonna rule 34 Steven Universe and ruin yourself. Or better yourself. I don't know.
Absolutely. An infinity gauntlet cock ring.
They gotta have one of those, I think.
Somebody has one themed somewhere. Lotus, let us know. Why do I feel like you would be able to find that if it is at all possible?
And you gotta fuck to the Avengers thing.
Awful, yet wonderful at the same time. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Just a Dope Ass Podcast on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's the 9th. Go celebrate something in my honor. We out here in mid-30s. We out here mid-30s, not stressing, no marriage, no kids, no baggage. We just out here lifting our own weight and be accountable for our own shit. I can appreciate that.
So put your consultation fee on your nipples.
Absolutely. Like $30 consultation fee. Click the link in the bio. Thank you.
Man, you take a nice crib, put it between your ass, and then bend over and tell you what.
On that note, everybody, enjoy your weekend. We will see you guys back here on Monday. You'll be back on Monday, correct?
Oh yeah, I'm coming back tomorrow. So
so TJ will be back in the studio on Monday, and you'll be able to see both of our faces live here in the Good News Talk studio, the best studio of them all, if I must say, here on the Good News Radio app, and also here on YouTube and Facebook Live. You guys enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Enjoy. See y'all later. Make your money, get your money. Nah, ass stupid, face foolish. On that Wu-Tang Clan, cause cash rolling. In the valley, this ain't a building. She pull up like she moving them fucking units.